And do you have any thoughts around the synthetic produced psychedelics that are trending very much these days, and the differentiation between the natural ones?
Yeah, I have several thoughts on it, none of which are conclusions. I think that there is a significant value in eating the whole food that extends beyond simply, taking a capsule full of the extracted component, period. Right. And there are certain circumstances where taking a capsule full of the extracted component better serves the sort of thing that you're attempting to address than just eating the whole food. Right? The thing is, like with mushrooms in particular, like every mushroom has a different um, tryptine profile. Like it's not just psilocybin. In the fresh ones, there's psilocybin, there's psilocin. That's like not the result of psilocybin being metabolized to it in your body. It's like actually in there. There's baeocystin, norbaeocystin, another one that starts with AG that I don't know how to pronounce, and I feel embarrassed if I messed it up. There's like all these different components, and they're also like minuscule elements of beta carbolines that are present in different degrees in different mushrooms. All of these produce a kind of entourage effect that changes the kind of experience you're going to have with a particular mushroom. And so, eating psilocybe cubensis is going to be different than eating Paniolus sinensis, and both of those are going to be different than having extracted psilocybin in a capsule. Um, and of course, that's not speaking to any of the other sort of like, you know, remix molecules like like Shulgin's 2C compounds. All those 2C compounds are uniquely their own in ways that are just like incredibly different and incredibly interesting, but all of which are based on the mescaline molecule. Like none of them are mescaline, right? All of them are, human devised remixes of this molecule, similar to other different tryptamines, be it 4-HO-MIPT or 4-HO-MET, 4-ACO-DMT, which apparently is just a pro-drug to psilocin, so that might be close to just taking extracted psilocybin, um, or any of these other ones. So, and LSD is semi-synthetic. That has its own experience, but then LSD can be broken down to these other things like ALAD and ETHLAD, and yeah, so there's all these different sort of variations, and I think each of them offer different things. But with respect to, I from a psychonautic perspective, I think if someone is interested in exploring, any one of these molecules probably offers something quite interesting to explore. That's not a statement of whether or not they should. There's a lot of safety issues that need to be considered, um, safety and danger issues, because they're not necessarily the same. Um, but when it comes to connecting with the value and the potency of a psychedelic experience, and what I think are some of like the great opportunities that it offers, there's nothing can really compare with the natural psychedelics in their whole food form, or as close to it as you can to still have an effect. But then each of those have different requirements. If you're going to go in for ibogaine, ibogaine is an extracted compound, but like iboga, you're going to want to make sure you're in a very secure, well-supported area, because it's one of the few psychedelic compounds that can literally kill you as a consequence of its biological function. With ayahuasca, sure, you could probably just do it with a couple of friends out at a camping trip, but chances are it's going to go much better for you if you're in a ceremonial structure with an experienced facilitator. Um, but yeah, I do feel like as humans get further and further away from who we were when we were integrated, both objectively insofar as immersion and subjectively insofar as a sense of relatedness with the natural world, with the living, breathing world that is there regardless or irrespective of the human hand, course, everything human produces is an extension of the natural world in some way. But the further we get away from that, I think the more valuable it becomes that we are, or the further we get away from that, the more. Okay, let me try this again. The exploration of all these different synthetic molecules, I believe, could have a positive effect on that sense of disconnection by connecting us more. But I also think it might reaffirm that disconnection as, say, well, similar equivalent to thing like, well, I didn't really have time to go to the forest today, so I just did like the Unreal Engine 6, like MetaQuest 3, forest immersion tape loop, so that I could get the mental health benefits of nature immersion today. So it's like there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that those AI things and that they don't have value for people that can't access it, but I think you see the point that I'm making.
Yeah.